Alright guys, today is the end of 2025. Well, for me anyway, in terms of wash, dry and fold business. I will be taking a time off for a few weeks and to reflect, recharge and refresh in a sense for 2020 at the end of 2025. So we're gonna do one drop off and one pickup. I shouldn't be doing this pickup, but I am because this is a new customer. Yeah, so let's do this one pickup, one drop off, and go from there. And hopefully I can do the new customer return on the same day because there's only one of them. Let's do this. Things that I learned for the week. Business can get really overwhelming, especially when we've never done it before. I never done it before. I don't know what I'm doing in some part of it. Most of it, it's sort of a guessing work. You kind of have an obstacle and you're trying to eliminate that obstacle and see if you can improve the way of you doing things. So that's how I learn. So usually I've got a problem and I get, all right, so how do I fix this? And then once you fix it, radio, so that's fixed. How can I do it so that way it's never going to happen again? So there's always this constant learning, let's say, constant problem solving. That's what I realized with my business. So, for example, in the beginning, I just do whatever job out there, any job that is thrown at me. And then from there, I'm going to refine this so that way I don't make mistakes. By product, services, system, creating all of those things that you can think of. For example, I never thought I'm going to do ironing, and here I am. I've got 2 of these bar installed, one of them in the boot, as well as in the middle. I don't know if you can see it. So that is for ironing service. Now would be great. So I solved that problem. That way I can carry a lot of ironing. At one stage, I had a customer that giving me 75 pieces of clothing that needs to be ironed from one customer. That's a lot. Now I time myself. In the beginning, I was like, whoa, this is too many ironing to do in one day, let's say, in one session. Now I realize, hang on a second, I need to figure out what is the mechanics of this. Works out to be after a while, you kind of know, well, for me anyway, I time myself, I'm figuring it out, what is the best way, what is the fastest way, with an average of about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes per item that I'm actually ironing. Beforehand, it's probably about 5 to 10 minutes per item, but I managed to reduce the time frame faster. So as a whole, I can do about 2 shirts per 5 minutes interval, so in terms of ironing. So it started up from that and then goes to the next one again. And then the next problem that I had was scheduling. Now, I don't know my cities that well. I'm still kind of new in this area of driving around. I've been in the city more than 2 years, but because my role used to be just working from home, the odd occasion I go out, but not as frequent. And due to that, I don't know the road that well. Now, previously on my role, when I go, let's say north, you kind of know the where I need to go, and because it's the same routine over and over again. This, on the other hand, it's a little bit different. The fact that every day, sometimes a new booking coming out of nowhere. So to minimize the time frame of driving, I created my route the day before. And so any new booking after certain times, I sort of lock it off. That's got to be pushed for another day. That's what I tend to do. And then the next one would be and trying to create that system when I have someone else working for me or another taking on board an employee or so. I need to figure out a way so that way they're the one that actually created their own route and whatnot, and try and figure out what is the best options for them. Now, I'm also looking at, I don't know when this will be, but there is possibility having another vehicle in the fleet. So I'm a bit tossing around, again, another fork in the road, another obstacle, challenges. Should I grab a second vehicle? But that would mean I will be running the vehicle for that particular person, or should I hire somebody that have a vehicle already? But I know what I'm asking for is a minimum is like this, where it's a 3-row type of vehicle, which is not that common for people to have, not expecting it. So most people in here probably just have a sedan, a 4-door sedan with a 5-seater. Whereas this is, I think it's a 7-seater, 6, 7, 7, 8, including myself as a driver. So very rare. So looking at that options, how is this going to work if I ever had somebody? Because I'm looking at maybe they're doing the pickup and delivery as well as the employee, and go from there. So that's another set of challenges that I'm looking at. Another one would be rostering. How is that going to work? What is the hours of operation? So at the moment, I'm looking at, I'll be doing the picking up and dropping off, and they'll be doing the processing. So if I were to, I guess, hire somebody just in the processing side, obviously they don't really need a car, only a car that gets you to from wherever they live, from A to B, from they live to where they're working, which is where I operate. And then I'm looking at possibly on the way home for them, so they can do at least 1 or 2 deliveries in the condition that there's a customer on the way home for wherever they're living. So yeah, that's another aspect that I'm looking at. So again, another set of challenges. The modeling of this, I don't know just yet, but I know for sure those are the little tick boxes that I need to figure out improvement wise, how I go about doing it and whatnot. So yeah, it's growing dramatically. I looked at my current bookings anyway. So on a typical week, I've started with no customers, 0 customers. As of right now, not right now, because I can't really count today's. What is it? No, I can't even read that. Give me a second. So as I was saying, I'm looking. Where was I? Kind of forgot my thought process. But anyway, so 2025 has been good for me. 2026, it will be a kind of interesting year, as I will be taking on board a person as a casual part-time or so, depending on the workload that I have. Gradually, I'm going to obviously increase that. I wanted to have, I guess, 1 full-time person in the near future, and possibly have 2 full-time person. There's all of these things that I've got in my head. If I were to hire, say, 1, first of all, it'll be a casual, then after that they're going to go part-time, then gradually increase it to full-time. And I don't know if it's this person going to have their own car, or like 1 person maybe just the processing, or maybe 2 part-timers. One of them is a processing person and the other person is just a delivery and pickup person. So that is my next go-to adventure as of January 2026. So yeah, I guess as a business owner, we are literally just problem solving the next step. How do I problem solve? That's all that you're doing. You go, okay, there's always going to be the same obstacle over and over again. How do you resolve that? So that's one. The next stage would be, okay, what type of person? I mean, this business is not for everyone. I was speaking to a colleague of mine who actually do another that is actually operating the same. Apparently, it might sound simple for some people to do wash, dry, and fold or ironing services, but at the same time, if the operator, whoever it is that is actually doing it, if they don't know how to do it, they don't know how to do it. Like for myself, for example, I cannot operate a hospitality industry type of business, but for some people, they can do that, and they enjoy that. So for me, I cannot work. Well, I can't operate. I can see myself operating this for the next 5+ years or so, where an expansion, making it grow as big as I can. Ideally, it will be there's no more of this closure in January, or I make it big enough so that way the business does not rely on my physically presence, let's say. That's what I'm trying to build. How is it going to work? I have no idea. How is the mechanic of it? I kind of have an idea. How am I going to implement it? It's a different story. But I'll take you in the journey as we go along. What else is there? We're also looking at getting more machines, getting more ironing machines as well. Maybe even move or purchase a warehouse of some sort, and that way I can actually operate the business from a warehouse, or possibly by maybe an investment property. So there are all of these things that can be the options is there, the potential is there. How I'm gonna get there? I'm going to go based on the speed of cash. So what it means is, if I don't have them, I cannot afford them, then I won't buy it. If I have the money, I gotta save up for it and then buy the whatever tools or equipment that I need. So I never want to go into debt, and I'm not gonna go based on borrowing money. So I'm going in the speed of cash. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. So we're gonna drop off this first customer. My ordering, I think I'm gonna change it from here on. I used to be once every next day delivery, but realizing in the future I might not be able to do this because the amount of jobs out there. So it might be that I need once every 2 days a delivery. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys on the next video. Alright, first drop off. Now, I do need these hooks. I don't know which one. I think last time I gave them 2 of the big ones, so I'm going to use 2 of the big ones because there is a lot of ironing. You know what? I'll bring 2 small ones as well. Two bigs, 2 small. Just in case if no one's home. Let's do this one first. Alright, I did leave it here. Maybe don't need the hooks after all. Alright. Always bring a hook, just in case if they didn't leave it there. let's go in the next location for a pickup. Another thing that I learned that sometimes a customer just wanted certain things that other providers unable to do. So I'll give you an example of this would be a few weeks ago there was a customer who requested if they can do a prepaid service. What it means is they'll pay you at the front of certain dollar figure, and I don't want to see any invoices for every single week. And this company anyway, it's a once every 2 weeks services. So for, I guess, this company, they're a little bit busy and somewhat, and figured, well, it will be better off if I just do once a prepaid service, maybe once every 2 months, where you send me an invoice. So another company unable to do that particular invoicing, let's say. I, on the other hand, I can. So I gave them an invoice over, I think, about 2+ months in one hit. They made a payment from there. And I told them, in the future, can you please just make an order to me direct? That way, it's in my system instead of using another party also, using a third party. So, funny thing was, they didn't do this because obviously life got busy and whatnot. And I'm also a bit busy and realizing, hang on a second, you made a prepayment over, 2 months of services here, and you haven't used that service, and it's been a month, I think it was, since they made a payment. So just looking through the books and realizing, you haven't made a single order. Give them a call, send them an email. By the way, when do you want to do this first service? They didn't realize that even though I give them an instruction clearly, hey, you need to contact me direct. Not if I don't get contacted, I don't know how is this going to work. So once they realize that, okay, so here I am doing the very first service for this client, and on my last operating day of 2025. So kind of interesting and turn out of event, put it that way. Things that I learned. I mean, some people, I guess, they won't contact you unless you contact them. You won't be able, I guess, if you don't ask, you'll never be able to get it, in a sense. So anyway, I'll see you guys in a bit once I've finished parking this car. Yeah, I'm Santa Claus out of the sack of washing. I'll see you guys in the car. Literally, we just got one customer only for today, being the end of the year of 2025. How exciting! I remember a few years ago when life is somewhat a little bit dark in my life. I remember what it feels like when during Christmas and New Year's and whatnot, it is one of the darkest moments because one, it can get really lonely. Two, especially when you don't have family members, myself alone, in this country. Two, it's out of your routine because at a certain point there is maybe work a little bit slow, and there's nothing that you can focus on, let's say. That's two. Number three, is when I realize some things needs to change dramatically. Nothing will change in your life unless you choose to change it. Unless you choose to do it. So nothing will. And I realized this to myself, and now I'm just thinking about it like, wow, in the past 3 to 6 months alone, a lot of things changed in my personal life that I am quite amazed on the result that happened. I kind of do wish that I could have done this a lot earlier. I do wish that. I wish I did it way earlier. But hey, it is what it is. I can't really change the past. I just have to move on and look at the future and what is it going to be. But so far, doing what I'm doing right now, I'm a lot more relaxed. I'm a lot more happier. But nothing will change unless you decide to change. That goes in any aspect of your life, whether it's financially, work-wise. If you're not happy with your work, you might want to do something better. I wasn't happy with my work, to be honest with you, in the past 2 years alone. Since the company got bought out by another company, everything has changed so dramatically, not in a good way, because of the leadership that's happened. And realizing that I'm going backward instead of going forward here, so I need to figure out what is my next path. I'm on my 40s at the moment, so I don't know if this is too late, but hey, I just started my business in my 40s. So I'm excited what is it going to be like when the next few years, let's say for the next 5 years, and what it look like going to be with our portfolio when it comes to investing as well. And what it look like when my kids graduated from, high school. That's my benchmark, and I'm hoping that by that time I will be a lot more wiser. I will be a lot more happier in the sense of how my life has turned out. I speak with a few people, a couple of my colleagues, and I'm looking at them. It's like, wow, you'd think that there's no way out of wherever it is that you're in. No, there is a way if you look for it and if you actually take action. I took a big risk doing this laundry business. My wife supported me, luckily for that, and I thank God for that she actually did support me with all of the, this uncertainty of solopreneur entrepreneurship that I'm doing. But so far it has been good, and I thank everyone, and I thank God, and I thank my wife, my family who supported me. But at the same time, there's only so much you can do unless you really are taking an actions. If you don't take action, you will be staying in the same conditions that you're in. So you must take action. It might not work for everyone, but at the same time, you would not know unless you try it out. So that's one aspect of it. Another interesting fact is that I thought that everyone who bought franchise, they will do whatever it takes in order for the business to work. I did not know that some people actually got this business only want to do it in a part-time casual, not in a full-on treated as if it's life and death type of thing. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting the way that it works out. I met another franchisee who is new, below me, and they asked me a lot of questions, but at the same time, they're not really take it too serious in a sense. I don't know if it's a serious thing, or I don't know if it was my fundamentals is I was really hungry when I started. and the success of it, it shows in your bank account, let's say. But if you keep on saying, oh, I'm not making much, oh, this and that, making all of these excuses, oh, I don't get enough lead, oh, I don't, you need to actually be proactive. You need to do something so that way it becomes a lot more. You need to do something. You need to change the way your mindset thinking. So it's amazing. And we all started somewhere at the same time, and I told this person, hey, here are the certain things that I do in order for me to become where I am. You might want to do the same, only if you choose to. I got this, I got that, and making all of these excuses. And I thought to myself, why am I even bothered? Because at a certain point, hang on a second, if you don't follow the steps that I did, then that would mean you don't want the result that I have because of whatever excuses there is. So it's kind of interesting. I remember when I first started, I was so hungry, and I find a way to make it work. I gotta find a way to make it work. If this is not working, then I just wasted this massive amount of capital that I invested a lot on. I could have just left it in the ETF and whatnot. So this is gotta make it work. But yeah, I guess each people out there is a little bit different. Not all entrepreneurship actually going to, or solopreneurship, going to be able to make it. I did not know that. I thought it was like, if you started something, you're going to be really successful. Everyone's going to be successful. I did not know that there are a certain percentage of a startup that is not going to make it. It could be because I made it and I was happy with the result that when I looked at my report card, my financial report card in the past 3 to 6 months, I was happy. And I can see the projection of this is going to get higher and higher. And because of that, in my mind, everyone should be in the same boat because you buy the same system. You purchase the same setup, costs, and everything. So it should be the same way. But that is not the case. I was wrong. So anyway, that's what I learned. I think that's about it. We're gonna process this, and I'll see you guys on when I'm going to return this. I'm actually gonna return this today. It is 9:30 at the moment. By the time I get home, it's 9:45, let's say. Put it in the washing, wash, dry, and fold them, and then return it by 9:30, 10:30. Let's say call it midday, at lunchtime or so. I'm gonna return it and go from there. Alright guys, I'll see you when I finish processing this. Sorry I didn't take you on the journey, but we are done for the day. So we are going to do delivery of this one item for a new customer, and we are done. Right now, what time is it? So 12:30. So we're gonna do delivery for that one item, one product, and then we are done for 2025. Yeah, new customer, new account. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna relax and let's do the delivery first of all. So I realized something while I'm making this video. I didn't actually take you guys on the delivery journey, but yeah, the whole entire day went a lot longer than I expected. I had to do a lot of errands before we finishing off, but I think that's about it. See you guys on the next video. Bye.